Right.
We now know that Nathan and Dwight do have a lot of history and future upcoming dealings with them.
Yes.
Can you share about the guard?
I can spell it for you.
A lot of questions get answered about the guard this year, which I enjoyed because Dwight could possibly be involved with the guard, and there's some issues and there's some questions. And what I really enjoyed about this season is a lot of knots get tied, but there's a whole lot of other strings that are hanging, waiting to be tied up. So.
Yes, by tying knots, they create other loose ends, and
On
it's
the other
just
side.
yeah.
So questions will be answered about the guard.
Yeah. What can we tell you? I don't know. I mean, there's
and it could involve a shirtless scene.
yes, there's a little bit of guard nudity.
Do you think that history with Jordan is part of the guard right now? Nathan's kind of romancing her to try to get himself in the door with the guard.
Yeah.
Is it going to create some like tension between the two guys? Are going to be fighting for some questions here?
I've tried not to let women come between my bromances. I don't know. It'll be interesting. That's one of the great things about it. There's a lot of different directions it could go. But there is some history between Jordan and Dwight, and it looks like there's some history about to begin.
Yes, there's some history being made.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Between Nathan and Jordan.
Right.
I mean, it could.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that we have this relationship where we're friends on the show, and I like the fact that Dwight and Nathan, they get along, they work together, sometimes begrudgingly, but not like Duke and Dwight. Like, we really just don't like each other, and I like that aspect too. And the fact that Vince is kind of like this grandfather, and Dave is the quirky uncle, and that's how I've tried to relate to everything character-wise.
Yeah. And what am I? I'm like your younger brother, or your older brother? You think of me as a younger brother?
I'm older than you.
I think of you as a younger brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the younger big brother?
Yeah, like my younger brother with a pituitary gland problem, or like a thyroid issue.
I haven't got surgery yet.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. No, but it is all really family. The guard this year shows us this whole other side of Haven that's been hinted at in a little bit of season 2, but it does really. How do I say stuff without saying stuff?
I know. It takes off.
Just say the stuff.
Yeah. Just say the stuff.
Yes.
It does. It's this whole other piece of the puzzle that we've been waiting for. But then it seems like a big reveal and all sorts of neat answers. But yeah, then again, they just raise way more questions. Something more dangerous in town, I guess. We had some. We had the Rev and some factions in Haven, and so this is another point of view to look at the troubles.
And what slightly confused me about Nathan becoming initiated is it happened slightly before his relationship with Audrey progressed. So he's already declaring his love, but also my concern is Audrey didn't really need protection, so I didn't quite understand why he would feel the need.
Audrey didn't need protection?
Well, she's so strong, even though she was kidnapped. But I still see her as an incredibly strong character.
Right, she is,
yes.
absolutely. So I guess to answer that question and with my small brain, Nathan would, regardless of whether she needs it or not, he would feel like giving it to her, and especially when it comes to that nefarious creature over there, Mr. Balfour, who plays Duke, it just goes super deep for Nathan. He does not, as much as he loves the guy on one hand and is like a brother. What are you doing? Huh?
You're a nefarious creature.
I was talking about nefariousness and your relationship to it.
You love me.
I was saying as much as I love
me. I gotta go back.
Okay. I do.
It's getting misty now.
I know him.
There was some rumors in San Diego.
And those rumors will just be much worse after New York and Toronto. It's just all going. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. It's terrible.
So that leads to a question, because the show is very intense. You guys, there's a lot of glaring and scowling at times.
Yeah.
But obviously the atmosphere on set seems like it's
Yeah.
a lot lighter than that. So what's it like on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's it is ridiculous to do these intense scenes where we're talking about things that we have no clue what they mean, and supreme ultimate hatred and mistrust and suspicion of each other, and then they say cut and we're immediately making really really lame fart jokes and like behaving like 6-year-olds for the most part, but that's just how we roll. I don't know, it's silly, but it's dress up and it's a blast. Like, we really do have a stupid good time.
Yeah. I mean, the crew, lighting everybody. You just take certain moments and you go, man, we're getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Yeah. Live in Nova Scotia and have fun with a bunch of people that
you would hang out
Yeah.
with if you didn't have to.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just one of those serendipity that everybody landed in the same spot. I don't know, but it's just it's a fun place to be and work.
Yeah. And I mean, Adam said over there, like, we don't, none of us, well, no, now I'm going to screw up your quote.
It's okay.
He was like, but, you can't take this ourselves too seriously. At the end of the day, we're telling stories and getting to play dress up in a grand way. But that being said, we all, we do take our jobs very seriously, our work very seriously. But I guess maybe we all kind of work in a similar way, which is not necessarily being the like brooding method actor that like can't look at anyone for but we enjoy ourselves, but then, as evidenced by Mr. Balfour, that nefarious creature over there, knocking it out of the park over and over again. I mean, when we need to do the dramatic stuff, like, it's a talented bunch of people I'm working with.
Where would you like to see the relationship and the triangle, the relationship between Nathan and Audrey, and the kind of triangle of Duke? Where would you like to see that go? You've had hints that it does go somewhere, something
Right.
happens, but where would you like to see it?
Well, that's a really hard question to answer, because I would like Nathan and Audrey's love to deepen, but not like in I don't necessarily want them to become a romantic couple and have a romantic relationship, because I don't know where that goes. I mean, that goes good, and then you have to blow it up again after a couple of episodes, and then I think we've seen a lot of that on TV, and it can get tiresome. So what I really like about their relationship is they're ultimately, under it all, they're like real friendship, and their respect for each other as friends and love for each other as friends, and the fact that they've really that she's brought so much out of brought so much out of Nathan. She's really she's really changed him, and I hope that he's done the same for her, and so that's a beautiful friendship. So I would like to see that continue, but not necessarily in the romantic sense, because, like I said, I don't know where that goes. And Duke and I would like to get off this. I would like to somehow begin to trust him more. Nathan always goes back and forth. We have some episodes where they have a bit of their bromance, if you will, where we get to work together a little bit more. So I would like that to develop into a place where they can trust and rely on each other more. But then again, if that happens, they're just going to have to blow it up again. So it's a difficult question to answer because I don't know what can play for 12 seasons, which we're intending on doing this show. Yeah.
I mean, actually, all of these characters, because they've kind of been done together, there's this rich, complex history. Are we gonna get to see more of some of the things that happened in the past that really got
Created.
these characters here, where they really either really hate each other or because there's they hate each other but they don't. They kind of love each other but they kind of Duke and you're not as much. But why is there such an intense hatred?
The way I look at things is you have two alpha males who probably like each other, but hate admitting that they probably like each other because they're a lot alike. But I think Dwight's a nicer guy. I think deep down, Dwight's a pretty good guy. He doesn't trust him, but he respects him. So there's a little bit of that. And then with Nathan, I look at it as, they're friends. And it goes deeper along with, Chief Warnos, and that's who Dwight initially got on board with. So I think there's a deeper, family history there. And then you have, Vince and Dave, which my character has a lot more interplay with this season, which I was really happy with, because I hadn't really got to interact with them. And I think the questions that, arise from the fact that you see, man, these two, they don't like each other. What's the deal here? That gets unveiled more and more with time, I think. And with each season, it just seems like there's different interaction, and then you start bringing in these different characters, like I was last year, these newer characters in this season, and it just gives, you don't have to give too much away. To me, if Nathan and Audrey were to get together this season, well, you jump the shark. As a fan, I go, man, are they going to do it? Are they going to? It's like, Rachel and Ross on Friends. As soon as they did it, you were kind of like, oh. Luckily, they had a big enough cast to be able to get by. But to me,
I'm Ross.
You have good hair, so you might be Rachel.
Okay.
But that's how I kind of look at things. Like as a fan, I try and step back and go, oh, okay, are they going to do it? Are they going to get together? Are they get together? But you really don't want them to get together yet.
Right.
So I still try and pull back subjectively and watch it as an audience member.
I always thought that Nathan and Dwight started working.
I do it all the time.
Nathan and Dwight started working together so easily, and I thought there would be more slight sibling rivalry, as Dwight is almost as if the hidden child of Chief Warnos, and he had this relationship with Nathan's father that Nathan knew absolutely nothing about and saw this separate side to him. So I, in almost respected him, while Nathan always had to prove himself. So I wanted to see a little bit more of rivalry or challenge from Nathan towards Dwight. Will we see any of that in the future? Or?
It's difficult because my character has that element almost with everyone else. So I think, from Dwight's perspective, there has to be that one person that he knows, and that he knows, okay, I got him watching my back. I like that aspect of it. And yeah, like brothers, we'll kind of go every once in a while, but it's very subtle. And I think if, from my character, if I did that with everybody, it would be too much. It's like, okay, so I'm the guy that just hates everybody.
It would be one thing. I think if Dwight was introduced in season 1, that would have been, I think, definitely something that would have come up a lot more. With the Chief's death, explosion, and the reveal about, Nathan's birth father, I think that put to rest a lot of some of Nathan's resentment and that anger. I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot of questions, but it was a real growing up that he had to do early on in the second season, and that's kind of right when Dwight came along. I don't know. I saw it as a sort of a beautiful acceptance of each other. I mean, there was some like suspicion maybe, but then when you came and saved my ass, that did it. But I would like to have a brothers talk about our dad at some point. That would be a great scene.
What I love about Dwight is something we all want to be, at least I do. Somebody who comes in and says, "Yeah, I'll fix it."
Yeah.
And being able to do that. I mean, as an actor, for a character like that, to do something cool and that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool because you can walk in and just try and carry the character in such a way where it's like you got it under control, even if you don't know if you do. One of my favorite moments actually from this year is, and it was small, it was tiny, but I drove up and there's this huge savage eating a raw fish in the back of a truck.
Right.
And Duke goes, Audrey wants to take care of him. I'm like, all right, if I got to, this begrudging acceptance of it. I like that aspect of the character, so that is fun. It really is.
Sorry.